Hi, and welcome to my leisure activity project. For my cross-gender activity, I chose Call of Duty World at War, specifically playing the Dare Rise map. Thanks to gender stereotypes, one usually does not hear of a girl or a woman for that matter playing these types of first-person shooter games. It is a trend that is beginning to change. More and more women are starting to pick up the controller and play first-person shooters along with the boys on Xbox Live. Historically, gaming has always been an activity that has been predominantly male. When people think of games from the past, a lot of people remember the games that involve saving the damsel in distress. I'm talking about Mario Brothers and Zelda. These games were not too violent, but it was still a man or a boy fighting his way to the princess. The only place for women and girls in video games seemed to be one where they needed saving. It was hardly ever the woman doing the saving, and today we have many war-themed games that are men only. From the Spartans on Halo to the soldiers from Call of Duty, these characters are seen as strong, tough men ready to take on anything. But where are the female characters? All we have is Lara Croft from Tomb Raider and Samus from Metroid. Neither of them were targeted solely for women because around the time Lara Croft came out, the jiggle factor had been created in the gaming world. For those of you who don't know, the jiggle factor was a technology that was fine-tuned visual effects to create the jiggling motion of the main character's breasts when they ran or to move in certain ways. It was a great breakthrough for technology, but possibly a step back for women. Currently, more and more women are getting into video games that are first-person shooters. The characters have not changed very much, but now the guns are personalized with pink cheetah print on an AK-47 or a unicorn sight on a sniper rifle. I believe this is one step that companies like 343 and Treyarch are doing to bring more women into the gaming world. Some will argue that the difference between male and female gamers is as small as 7 to 15%, while in other studies, 72% of men and 43% of women said that they will continue to play video games on a regular basis. The downside to an increase in people playing violent video games is the link to violence and aggression in children. According to a study done by Kimberly Thomas, the link to physical aggression and first-person shooters suggests that there is a direct link between the two of them, but more research is needed to determine if one causes the other. The researchers could not say for sure if violent games equal aggressive people or if people who are aggressive just tend to pick aggressive type games. I was actually surprised to see that not much has changed in the world of gaming for women. Men still play much more than women, and I think the divide has not changed much from a historical point of view, simply because of the way women choose to spend their free time. This activity fits into the traditional ideals of leisure for men because in the past men have always been seen as more aggressive than women. Generally, when someone thinks of zombies and guns from World War II, they probably wouldn't think that a girl would be interested in something like that. So this is me playing. Right now it looks like I'm on level 4 and I'm trying to get through this one door to see if I can buy a better gun because the zombies are starting to get a little bit stronger and I heard that they're like these crazy dog things that come out every like 4 or 5 rounds. So that's me buying a Tommy gun and then I'm going up the stairs. Open the door there because I guess I racked up a lot of points, and now this is where my husband had to tell me where to turn the power on so this little bridge thing would drop down, and it was just overly confusing, but I still wanted to learn it. So once I actually found it, I was ready to start my dogs round. My experience with this cross-gendered activity relates mostly to a liberal feminist point of view. Liberal feminism focuses more on the equality for all and the freedom to do the same things that others do. It also pays attention to the autonomy of the individual. When I played, I did not want to have my husband play with me. I chose to do the single-player game, so I wouldn't be playing with anyone else at all, and this was really important to me to do it this way. I really don't know why I've not participated in this activity before. It was always fun just to watch my husband play with his friends. I had thought about it before, but just never thought I could do it. When the original Xbox came out, I remember thinking that there was way too many buttons on this controller and that my hands probably wouldn't fit properly over the controller anyway because they were too small. For some reason, that thought just sort of stayed in the back of my mind for the last 10 plus years. Other constraints that I experienced included not wanting to play alone. It wasn't because I needed someone to play with, but the fact that I had no idea how to get through the basic menu to get to the game. Though it doesn't sound like that much of a struggle, but it also just didn't seem worth the effort. Not to mention the fact that I couldn't justify spending $400 on a game system, along with $60 per game, in addition to an annual membership that runs about $50 a year. Surprisingly, this activity challenged me to do things by myself. Usually, if I do something for fun, I would never do it alone. As for trying something new, my feelings were the same in the beginning. I had no idea if I was doing anything right. But over time, I figured out how to move around the way I wanted. It didn't stop me from being overrun by zombies, though, but it helped me stay in the game just a little bit longer. Even though my character died in the game probably a million times before I got to level 5, I can definitely see why guys play this game for hours and hours. My gender tends to be more social with leisure activities. After playing video games, I realized that doing something for fun doesn't always have to involve full conversation with someone. It was nice to just zone out and just ignore everything around me while I played the game. As for playing this game again, I would certainly participate in this activity again. After how much fun I had learning how to play, I definitely want to see how far I can go. With this type of game, it's not something that ever ends. It's basically a survival mode and keeps going as long as the character stays alive. I don't have a final boss or anything, I just have more and more zombies that get stronger and faster and harder to kill. I would love to play more and to see if I can get as good as my husband and his friends. I just hope I remember to go outside and take a break every once in a while. Well, that's the end of my leisure activity project. I hope you had fun as much as I had fun making it. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Always hated freaking teddy bears.